So game 3 on the draw against Scales. Saga, Drum, so they're gonna have a bit of mana. So yeah, Mana Tithe, coming in clutch again. Fortunately, not enough for Charmaw. Yeah. I mean, not having a play there really hurts because, yeah, it really gives them. Yeah, here's where they do their Vaz, Ozolith, you know, Walking Ballista, gets past my Ghostly Prison, so, you know, they put a lot of stuff down, but my life still wasn't really in danger at this point. But yeah, here's where Charmaw is good because it, you know, so I killed the Saga because I didn't want him to create any tokens, and this is a blocker for both of these. In the event they start threatening me with attacks, so yeah, very key that I had that there. I did not cast Ghostly Prison just because Ballista gets past that, and you know, we want to be focusing on destroying their lands. So yeah, didn't have enough to get past it here. Again, want to save the boom for when we can do two things at once, so I just destroyed a land, not the modular land, because that would have gotten them counters. So yeah, they did Shadow Sphere. Ballista wasn't big enough. So again, I think the focus here is to again hurt their mana. Because, you know, I think as a general rule, hit their mana before the prisons, and yeah, Ballista is gonna do its stuff. You know, is gonna do its stuff regardless if it gets big. So I think I wasn't attacking because ultimately, like, I know I have a lockout avenue in my hand. So Obsidian is just the defensive value having it just outweighs trying to race them, which, as I've mentioned, when I lost game 1 is usually not a good idea against a deck like this. So yeah, they do the double Zabaz, Ozolith thing, so it gets big. Thankfully, no hardened scales. So I think the thinking here is I don't block because it had trample, so I was only preventing 4. And we know that Obsidian is gonna have a chance to prevent at least 4 somewhere down the road, potentially more if it's a big Zabaz, which doesn't have trample. But yeah, like on net, I could have. Yeah, I had the luxury of waiting to chump with my Obsidian Charmaw. So here the idea is like, I think the idea here is Walking Ballista is. I mean, the idea is if I get hit again, like, Walking Ballista basically has the ability to basically throw all its counters at me and do a whole bunch of damage enough to kill me. So I think the idea here was to at least get them down to 1 creature and prevent any kind of Walking Ballista threat. Because, yeah, I think at this point... yeah, at this point, like, Walking Ballista, my life total was in too much danger. So, and you know, also I think their mana was low enough that the only way, I guess, only real likely way I could have lost is if they just had enough to, like, Walking Ballista kill me, even with limited mana. So I think my thought was to play it safe, get rid of the biggest immediate threat, and you know, I have the resource advantage over them to take them out of lands if the game goes on for any more length of time. But I was putting myself in a bit of danger here because they've got a big Zabaz strike next turn. So I have 1 chump for Zabaz, but so I was basically 3 Zabaz attacks away from dying. So I think in this case I block because I figure, yeah, it's 2 attacks for 6 anyways, that would kill me. So yeah, that was clutch that I drew a land here, because that allowed me to boom and Ghostly Prison. So boom and Ghostly Prison. So now essentially they have to get lucky with decking lands on multiple turns. And yeah, no, they're done, because that Hankerback Walker is doing nothing for them. So again, I didn't think too much about the math, but I was pretty sure like there was no way they could win a game out of nowhere from this point, so I just saved my stuff. Well, I mean, I saved it. I saved my prismatic ending for the drum, because that's a mana generator. So yeah. So I saved the march for if they try to do anything crazy with a walking ballista. But yeah, eventually I have the game locked down here. Doubles the boss. Yeah. So yeah, I think I think I was wrong to express doubts about Ghostly Prison in the outset, because yeah, it's a pretty critical card in this matchup. Yeah. But yeah, you know, once I have Obsidian, it's a matter of time. I mean, it's funny that Zabaz doesn't normally have flying. Oh yeah, so the reason why I didn't cast Haktos is I kind of knew I had the game in hand, so there's no point in rushing. And in case I didn't have that third white source, so in case I wanted to instant speed Otherworldly, something problematic. So I was content to just take it slow. And yeah, so yeah, again, so with this game, I think the tight part was, you know, when they get to an aggressive start, and yeah, when they get to an aggressive start and you know you have the pieces to achieve a lockdown, you just need to essentially stay alive for long enough. Those are often very tough games. You often have to pivot in terms of what you choose to destroy. So I think the key there was recognizing that I had a good enough medium-term board position right after that ballista hit me down to 12 life to realize that, you know, the best play was to kill the ballista to prevent me from dying in the short term, because I knew I had the cards in the medium term to take control of the game. So it's definitely recognizing the state you're in, and you know, knowing what's the right piece to use, because often when you're catching up, you have a lot of options, you're just running out of time. And luckily I was able to stop things you know, before they got those 2 extra hits in. So yeah, that was I think a very tightly played game, and you know, I think really shows you know, I think this whole match shows the value of pivoting to a traditional Liborn Taxes, Ghostly Prison Tabernacle lockout in certain matchups. So yeah, very satisfying match win to go 3-0.